Hello, 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 candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is all about candles. I have a review for you today from Village Candles, so let's just get right into it. This is Summer Breeze by Village. This was a beautiful blue color of wax. It doesn't look as pretty now as it did before. That sort of more light colored blue is the way that it looked for most of its life. This was a really lovely fragrance, you guys. It's 21.25 ounces, 2 wicks with a burn time of 160 hours. Oof, Village Candles, this 2-wick format of theirs, they last forever. There are some Village Candles that I have for like 2 years because I'm a pretty seasonal burner, and so I'll get through half of one in one summer and then get through the last half of it in the next summer. In fact, I'm really excited for October because I've got 2 Halloween candles from Village that I started burning last year that I'm gonna finish burning this year. They are Ghost Cemetery and Haunted Mansion, and they are both fabulous. So I'm excited to get back into them. But we are here to talk about Summer Breeze. And it does have a scent story. Allow me to do a dramatic reading for you. There's nothing better than a sun-filled breeze to cool you down in the middle of summer. We dove into summer by blending a cool aquatic essence with notes of driftwood to hint at beauty bliss. Hint at beauty bliss. Laced with base notes of luscious honeysuckle to evoke the sweetness only summer can bring. Aww. And the scent notes on here are top notes of sparkling citrus, kiwi, and fresh air, middle notes of honeysuckle, lily, and tulip, and base notes of birch, driftwood, and moss. As I like to often sing when I see scent notes like this, these are a few of my favorite things. This is a gorgeous fragrance, you guys. And I have never burned through a Village candle this quickly before. I think I just got this about a month ago. I did a Village candle haul called Fairies and Blueberries, and I think that was like about a month ago, maybe not even. 3 weeks to a month. Anyways, who cares? I burned through this really quickly because I enjoyed the fragrance, and this candle was also conducive to being burned for long periods of time. And I also just really wanted to get through this one before summer was over because I don't need to have any more half-burned candles in my like storage areas. So there were some good things and some not so good things about this candle, as is the case with, I feel, the majority of candles I burn these days. The good news is that the fragrance is absolutely lovely. On the top, you've got a really airy, slightly fruity scent happening. And it is a little bit citrusy. This is a very, very fresh and clean and bright fragrance. It mostly sits in a medium to high range. And in the middle, you have a little bit more floral happening. I'd say mostly the top is airy, the mid is floral, and the base is a little bit woodsy, a little bit mossy. There's just a teeny tiny little bit of like grassy funkiness in the base of this candle, and it's really nicely balanced. And it's really lovely. It almost goes into a little bit of like a fresh linen situation, but not quite. There are some sort of floral ingredients here that I feel like you might associate with like a sun-drenched linen or something of that sort. And it's not like full-blown laundry care, but it definitely could be, it definitely could be you've got your clothes hanging out to dry in the backyard where there are lots of flowers growing and an ocean nearby. Does that paint a picture for you? Yeah, I really like this fragrance, but the strength and the throw was just not really where I wanted it to be. So moving on to performance, what I will say is that this candle burned really nicely and really, really cleanly. Village Candle is kind of they really flex on their sort of wicks that they use. They've got this wick technology. The wicks don't need to be trimmed on these Village Candles, and I would not suggest that you do. And sometimes they do a really great job, and sometimes they do a not so great job. I've had Village Candles before that I haven't been able to burn past the halfway point. This one was not like that, and what I liked about this candle was that it burned at a really nice and even pace. So no matter how long I burned this candle for, you had about maybe 3/4 of an inch of a really nice wax pool on it, and the wicks would sort of diminish themselves as the candle burned. And so, having burned a lot of Village Candles before, I feel like I get a pretty good sense now of how they often need to be treated. And I found that with this one, what I liked about this one is that I could let it burn for a really long time because it never got to the point where it was sooting. It never got to a point where the wax pool was way too crazy and deep so that the wicks were moving. The wick dispersion sort of matched up perfectly with a nice, even balanced wax pool. And so there were times where I burned this candle all day long. And it was not bothered by that at all. And so by that, I mean, I'm working and I would have this burning for like 8, 9, or 10 hours easily. And every time I looked at it, it was just, I'm not bothered. I am not bothered. The wicks just kept up to it nicely. It never was sooty or weird or feeling like it was starting to get too hot and too crazy. It just really kept itself in check in a way that I really appreciated because, like I said, these burn for 160 hours. I mean, I've never clocked them personally, but these are by far the longest burning candles that I purchase on a regular basis. And I really enjoy sometimes being able to enjoy one fragrance going for an entire day. And that's what I did multiple times with this one. And so that's how I managed to get through this one so quickly. It just burned so well that I could just let it keep going. And I really had to let it keep going to get the most strength and throw out of it. I never put this in a hurricane because I have found that with Village Candles, if you do put them in a hurricane, they get too hot too fast and the wax starts outpacing the wicks too much and you end up with those problems that you get if you burn a candle for too long. And so I'd never put Village Candles in a hurricane, no matter how badly I wished that I could amplify the fragrance a little bit. Oh gosh, I just wish it had been stronger. So I would say that in the mid-range of the candle, when I was giving it like really long burns, I'd say generously it got up to a 6 in a more open area. I mean, that was absolutely where it maxed out, like a 6 for strength and throw. Throw in my more open area, it was okay. It had a presence to it. I did kind of have to search around for it a little, like the bloodhound that I am sometimes. But I enjoyed burning it for the most part. It was nice and airy and light. I wish that it could have gotten to a 7. I think this candle would have been really lovely at a 7. As it was, I did need to be within about 10 feet or so to be able to smell it. And I'd say for the most part, on an average burn, it sat around a 5 or a 5.5. I could detect it, but just not as much as I wanted to. And that's just such a shame, such a shame. If it could have been turned up just a little bit, this would be a repurchase for me. If this could have been a 7 for strength and throw, I would have probably already ordered another one because I think that the fragrance is just lovely. Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely fragrance. And overall, I actually really did enjoy this one. Sometimes you do just have to settle for a candle that isn't really punching you in the face the way you like it sometimes. And that was definitely the case with this one. But at the same time, by the end of it, I really did kind of feel like I had made a friend, you know? I'm a little sad to say goodbye. Lovely fragrance. I might actually keep it on my shelf for a little bit longer so I can just walk by and smell it on cold once in a while. In fact, you know what? I might even put this teeny tiny little bit of it. I might just put this in my candle crock tonight and see what happens. Why not, right? Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you could hit me up with a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, that would really mean the world to me. I'm on Instagram now at allabootcandles. You can shoot me an email at allabootcandles@gmail.com. And until next time, my dear candle-loving friends, say it with me. Let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, folks. Bye now.